What did you think we were before you began to think of us as human beings?
Well, in a way, we thought of you almost as a very superior pet.
Well, I remember quite well how those Polo children used to have to eat. They were fed in boxes and troughs under the house. They were fed cornmeal mush and beans. When this was poured into their box, they would gather around it, the same as we see pigs, horses, and cattle gather around troughs today.
When the Civil War ended in 1865, more than 4 million slaves were set free. By the late 1930s, 100,000 ex-slaves were still alive. In the midst of the Great Depression, the Federal Writers Project hired journalists and writers to travel the country and record the memories of this last generation of African Americans born into bondage. The Library of Congress is home to most of the slave narratives, a multi-volume collection of interviews with former slaves.
Only heartless savages would treat a group of people like they're animals. Only heartless savages will create ideologies and narratives to convince others to treat a group of people like animals. Only heartless savages will socially engineer the rest of their people to see and treat another group of people like they're animals. And that's what I try to remind to the sellouts too. You know, we got a lot of black folk who selling out for the white dollar, and they don't understand that they are pets. They might not even be glorified pets, and when they're through with them, they're gonna get thrown away. So if they treat us like animals just off of GP, if you're a sellout, you're still an animal. You're still a pet. You're still a pet to them. You're still a pet. You're just a little bit useful. But when you have no use, like all other pets, you know, you get taken out back, then you get flushed down the toilet. So just remind you who we dealing with. We at war. Remember who we dealing with. If they can see us as pets, if they can see another group of human beings as pets, that lets you know how inhumane and ignorant they are.